Here are some facts you should know about the UN. 1. How was the UN established? After World War II, core member states of the Anti-Fascist Alliance came up with the idea to form an intergovernment organization with the aim of preventing future wars. They agreed to use the term United Nations in the Joint Declaration of 1942 as the name of the organization. On June 15, 1945, 51 countries signed the UN Charter in San Francisco. It took effect on October 24th of that year, and the UN was officially founded. 2. What issues does the UN address? The major objectives of the UN can be classified in 3 areas. The first is maintain international peace and security, develop friendly relations among nations, and achieve international cooperation. The second is to promote sustainable economic, social, and cultural development. And finally, address the global issues such as environmental problems, hunger, and human rights violations. 3. How many member states does the UN have? At its founding, the UN had 51 member states. The number now stands at 193. Only sovereign states can become members of the UN. 4. Where does the UN funding come from? The funds can be broadly classified in 3 areas. First, the yearly budget is approved by the General Assembly and assessment is made for each member country. Second, the peacekeeping budget is assessed separately from the main organizational budget, which is provided by the 5 Permanent Security Council members. And third, funds for special UN programs, such as the WHO, are not included in the regular budget. These programs are financed by voluntary contributions from member governments, corporations, and private individuals. China is the second largest contributor to both the UN's regular budget and peacekeeping budget. 5. Some major achievements by the UN. The UN and its agencies supply vaccines to 45% of the world's children. The UN's World Food Program provides food and assistance to some 91 million people in 83 countries. The Paris Agreement on Climate Change was signed by the largest amount of countries ever in a single day. The UN supports about 67 countries a year with their elections. 6. How will COVID-19 influence the General Assembly meeting this year? The meeting begins on September 15th, and due to the global ongoing pandemic, most leaders will not be appearing in person this year. The meeting will be held virtually for the first time and adopt what is known as the silence procedure. Leaders of the member states will need to pre-record their speeches, and meetings will all be virtual. Draft resolutions shall be circulated by the President of the General Assembly, and then each member state will have a deadline of at least 72 hours to raise objections. 7. Highlights for this year's General Assembly meeting. Transforming the world through sustainable development. As many as 17 internationally agreed targets to reduce poverty and protect the planet will be a key focus of this year's agenda. Facing up to unprecedented loss of global biodiversity. The General Assembly members will discuss the reduction in biodiversity, and the BioGlobal Diversity Outlook will be published on September 15th. Gender equality, 25 years after the Beijing Declaration. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres tweeted on September 1st, quote, "Protecting the rights of women and girls during the COVID-19 crisis is a top priority for the UN and for me. The socioeconomic impact of COVID-19 on women and girls globally will be discussed at the meeting this year."